Tommy, I think this is probably the most significant concept here in Tokyo for the Lexus brand, because let's face it, the sedan is dead, but it's been replaced by
a different sedan.
Well, no, I mean, obviously it's taller, it's more like the Crown, right? What is this, Tommy?
Well, this is a car that they're calling a coupe. This is the Lexus LS Coupe concept, but clearly you're right, it's a little SUV. And of all of the cars here at the Japan Mobility Show, we've got this crazy six-wheeled van, we've got this crazy little mobility pod thing over there. This is the one that seems the most likely to actually make it to the production in the USA, because this is the kind of stuff that Americans can't get enough of, small luxury crossovers.
I mean, I think we're looking at the future of Lexus here. It's pretty obvious. So the spindle grille is being replaced by a spindle headlight setup, and the interior is kind of building on what Lexus has always brought to the American market, which is kind of Japanese luxury, so you can see bamboo. But you know, I don't want to get into that because we did a walk around with Ian, who heads up CalT in California, and this is kind of his baby project, so we'll let him talk about it, but let's just give him a quick overview before we cut to that.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, this was designed by the California Design Studio, the division of Toyota and Lexus, and it's clearly a small crossover, even though they call it a coupe, with a crazy trunk. I do want to talk about this trunk. That whole square section pulls out like a unit instead of having a hatchback.
Yeah, it's like drawers instead of...
Yeah, it's like a huge drawer.
Chest of drawers in a car.
But it is a really cool design that I'm not going to eloquently be able to describe, so Ian, take it away.
If you want to be chauffeured around, this is the vehicle for you. If you want to drive or drive with your friends, this is the vehicle for you. So LS Coupe concept is all about duality, mixing the best of everything together. So you get an interior space that exceeds an executive sedan in every single dimension. But the exterior is wrapped in a sexy form and a driving performance feeling that echoes our performance coupes. Simple way for me to say this, LS plus LC. You get this. All in a more usable package, a higher ground clearance, more luggage space. But as I said, when you get in this car, the feeling of space is really incredible. It's very comfortable, but it's focused on driving. On the exterior, again, you'll see that front spindle. You'll see the aero texture I talked about on the sport concept. It's also on the coupe, in the body color in the black areas. The lamps, actually the three lamps are homage to the LC. The LC Coupe has 3-lamp identity. And so in this case, they're floating in an aero zone. So when you look at the lamps, there's actually an air pass through beyond the lamps and directing air onto the hood over the windshield, which is really, really cool. Sadly, the car is up high, so you can't see it. You got to trust me on that one. Look at the form language. It's a beautifully expressive form. We worked really hard to control the highlight and shadow movement from front to rear, so it flows around the wheels. And again, that iconic D-pillar. Everybody know what a D-pillar is? That's designer speak. So the rear pillar of the car has an iconic shape, a lot like the sport concept. And it frames the cabin and it brings the eye back down through the body. Again, that strong rear shoulder, I really love it. That stance. So designers always talk about stance. So the stance from every view is really exciting. Look at those wheels. Wheels are awesome. Number 2. Yeah. So the wheels behind that aero disc is this beautifully created carbon fiber spider. So it's an intricate carbon fiber rim. It's covered by an acrylic disc that's laser engraved from the rear, and it's lit from the central hub. So the light on the hub spreads throughout the disc, creating a really great effect at night. And during the day, what you get is, depending on the light, the shadow, and the reflection, as the wheel spins, you see different parts of the wheel appear and disappear. So it creates this mysterious effect as part of our Lexus DNA. The interior, the doors aren't open on the moment. Maybe you saw it earlier today. The interior is really, really beautiful. Again, we utilize handmade, hand-carved bamboo elements to surround the rear passenger. The rear passenger, again, ultimate comfort. It starts off with a bench seat, but if you want, you single press of a button or a wave of a hand, the center console rises up and you get 2 bucket seats. The driver's seat is a different color altogether. It's the same color as the instrument panel, which is a dark green. The bamboo leather in that is like dark green. It's so beautiful. And that signifies the driver's seat. It's much more form to the body. The passenger seat is bigger. It's much more comfortable. And we have 360-degree sensorial music around the headpiece. So that's why the passenger side upper seat is bigger. When you see the interior, you notice that it's very clean. We didn't want to fill the interior with screens. So actually the interior has what we call monumental sculpture. There's this giant simple form that goes from one door across the front and on to the other door. It's almost like this valley, and it's that beautiful green leather with this intricate stitching on it. Across that valley is this carbon fiber beam or this bridge. It's this thin beam. It's not load bearing. It only has to carry the weight of the infotainment system. So that's made out of recycled carbon fiber, and it has mother of pearl inlay in it, which in Japanese we call raden. So as you get into the car, the nestled driver screens, they separate, they form 2 screens, and the steering wheel comes to you. And the passenger side screen, it does not on this model, but it unfolds if you want it and disappears if you don't want it. The rear passengers get 2 screens facing them. Those screens are really cool. So we also have the drone on this car. So in this case, if you're sitting in the rear seat, you can see the view ahead from the drone on your screen, like you can when you're flying international. Or you can have a face-to-face conversation with the person driving, because there's a camera in the steering wheel. So you can have like a face-to-face conversation if you want. Or you can see the road ahead from a front-mounted camera, or you can be part of the process of selecting where you want to go. It's really cool. There's a lot of details on the interior. Please check it out. As we walk to the rear of the car, so if you walk to the rear, you can see, like the sports car, the stance is very strong. The wheels are very bold. The form envelops the wheels, and as it flows to the back, it's sheerly cut off. It makes this frame, this tail lamp frame that frames the clean rear end. And you'll notice that there's no boot separation lines. As I mentioned last night, this car features a slide-out tray. So the center portion of the vehicle, you actually pull it out and it drops down, and you can load things into the car at this height, which for me is great. It actually works, but unfortunately for this concept model, it's filled with the electronics to run the interior. Again, you can see the homage to the LFA on the digital light. In this car's case, it's a reverse lamp, and you can see the textures on the diffuser. It's the same air control ideas that we have on the sport concept.
All right, so in the past, concept cars were just that. They were concepts for what the manufacturer was thinking about building. And then a few years ago with like the Rivian and with the Stinger, the actual concept cars were built. So we got used to seeing concepts that were then in production. I don't think this is going to go into production time. This would be very expensive. But I think the basic outline of what Lexus will look like in the next 5 to 10 years is right here.
Yeah, for sure. And I think of all the cars we've seen today, this is the most likely to go into production. They won't tell us what the powertrain is, if it's gas, if it's electric. Definitely has some electric cues and silhouettes to it. But look, stay tuned to this space. I think there's likely some news coming in the next few years that we might see something like this actually hit the streets, because it seems like the one that's definitely the closest to becoming a reality.
Come in with me for a second. We've been doing a lot of these videos, and oftentimes we kind of give you guys a peek of something that's on the side. So let's just give them a more than a peek of what this thing is, Tommy.
Yeah, so this is a vision of what Lexus mobility could be. It's a crazy little single-person pod, electric pod that would get you from your house to your car, or from your plane to your car. It's actually quite beautiful. It's got a really cool rear end. I like this This little tail-light design with this vertical Lexus slab is very, very cool. But this is something that is clearly not going to be in your driveway anytime soon.
Yeah, Lexus has taken a holistic approach to luxury, Tommy. If you show them that, you'll see that there is now a lot of water because there's also a Lexus yacht apparently.
Yeah, so they're doing boats. They have a house design as well, so they're trying to go pretty crazy with what their design team can do.
And then if Lexus isn't luxurious enough, if you zoom in on the Century over there, we've got a full video on that. That is a car that is probably the most expensive car that Toyota has ever built. And head on over to where to watch that video, Tommy?
Alltfl.com.
Thanks for joining us in Japan, and we'll see you next time. Ciao.